Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another Fallout 4 modding video. Today we're checking out yet another bundle of releases that have come out decently recently. That is going to be some mods that are brand new and some that maybe I just never got a chance to cover, with a wide range of weapon mods, armor mods, and even some power armor to look at. And I know you guys do love some power armor mods. Now, before we begin, I do want to mention something that I always mention in every video. I just usually talk about it a bit later, and that is that I want to thank the wonderful people over at Patreon. Those of you who are supporting me on Patreon are absolutely amazing. It really helps out and lets me do more of these videos and even more of the mods that I make over on Nexus. So if you're into that kind of thing and you want to donate over on Patreon, you can do so using the link down in the description below if you'd like to support my work directly. But of course, it is completely optional. That is not something you need to feel pressure to do. It is just there as an option for people who like to do that kind of thing. Now then, back to the video at hand. We have some really cool mods to check out, starting off with a really cool one known as the Last of Us Flamethrower by UOYKCUF86. Now, this is going to be a really interesting mod because it's going to recreate the wonderful flamethrower from The Last of Us in a design that I think fits Fallout 4 very, very well. This is going to be more of a handheld flamer, more compact than the one we have in vanilla game, but it's very, very good looking. It's from a Sketchfab model, and this thing is going to have some really cool effects. Now, sadly, the thing that this thing lacks is going to be integration into the game. It has a couple areas that I wish would use some touch-ups, but first let's talk about the positives of this mod. The model and texture look absolutely great. This thing is really cool looking. It also has some really cool effects, like a constant flame that is always on, even when you're not firing the weapon, so that when you do fire it, it is ready to be ignited, which I think is super cool. A nice little integration by the author here. Additionally, this is a very satisfying weapon to use. And altogether, I think it just has a nice visual aesthetic that is a really cool one that fits very well in the game. I wouldn't mind making something like this myself one day with maybe my own style, because I think this thing is really cool. Now, let's talk about some of the ways that it is integrated, as since you are watching this, you do need to know about those things if you're going to decide to download it. Now, by no means do I think any of these things are a reason not to download the mod. It's just something I want you to be aware of when you do download it. First of all, this thing does use vanilla animations, which isn't the worst thing in the world. It does use the submachine gun animations so that they can make use of that pistol grip on the rear. However, that does mean that they're going to reload in a bit of an awkward angle with the magazine, and also they're going to pull on an imaginary bolt, which just isn't there on the flamethrower. Theoretically, if this thing got some custom animations, that problem would go completely away, and I think that that would be really cool for a weapon like this. It definitely deserves custom animations. Now, other ways that this weapon is integrated, there aren't really a ton of attachments or ways to modify the weapon. Additionally, it is not added to the leveled list. This is something that you actually have to craft over at the chemistry station, or alternatively, you can spawn it in. But sadly, no leveled list integration, or really any integration for that matter besides the chemistry station. But if that's something that doesn't bother you, and I know there's a handful of you out there that it doesn't, then this isn't really a problem. Alternatively, you can always patch it yourself to add this into the leveled list. It's not too terribly hard. Now, even though this thing is lacking custom animations and custom attachments, it's still a very cool weapon. And for a heavy energy weapon, I think that a lack of attachments isn't the worst thing in the world. I'd like to see something, but it's really not too bad. This is a very cool, very unique weapon, and you could even treat it as such. You could treat it as a unique, unmodifiable weapon, as it is a very cool one. The author states that this is a mid-game weapon, but in my testing, I would put this a little higher into the late game, as it includes not only the base damage, but it includes incendiary damage, and I believe nothing in the game has any incendiary resistance, so with a very high fire rate, since it is a flamethrower, this thing is going to be packing quite a punch. Regardless, this weapon is super cool and a very fun new weapon to experience, so if you want to try it out for yourself, it will be linked down in the description, along with every other mod in this video. Now, the next mod we're checking out is known as the AM17 and AMB17 by another one, also known as Retro Paladin. This is going to be a weapon I've actually never seen before, which is a pretty rare one when it comes to real-life weapons. Now, this is a multi-caliber weapon with lots of different rechambers, available with tons and tons of attachments over at the weapons workbench. You can customize this thing like crazy. It's also going to feature custom animations that fit it very well, which is always a very nice touch, and something that is typical to see with a mod by Retro Paladin. It also has built-in tactical reload support. It's been a while since we've covered a modern weapon like this, but that is also a pretty typical thing with modern weapons, is you do get that tactical reload, so if that's something you're a fan of, that is something you will be getting with this weapon. Additionally, this weapon has a built-in ESL, so that means it will not take up a slot in your load order. Typically, I don't even do built-in ESLs. We have an ESL hub for that, so that's a really nice integration for a mod like this. Now, altogether, this is a wonderful new weapon, again, like I said, with tons of attachments and the custom animations, and really cool versatility when it comes to the different chambering options that are available, so you can put this thing in different calibers. The only thing that I do wish we saw in this mod would be proper integration like leveled lists, but typically I believe another one doesn't do level list integration. They usually do a one-of-a-kind placement, and in this instance, it is actually found over in the port of Boston. There is a newly added body on a boat near the eastern side of the map in one of the ports. You can head over there, you will find a gunner who has this weapon on them. Now, if you need a more specific idea of where that is, there is a beautiful image on the mod page that tells you right where this thing is. Additionally, though, on top of this one-of-a-kind placement, once you actually obtain the weapon, you can make more of them at the chemistry station. So that definitely is one choice of integration. It's not typically how I prefer my guns, but if you don't mind that, then it's great. Alternatively, you can always add it to the level list yourself, or maybe wait to see if somebody patches it over on the Nexus. Altogether, though, we have a nice, new, modern tactical gun. If you're into that kind of thing, it definitely is a really good option. Retro Paladin typically uploads high-quality stuff, and this mod is no different. Now, the next mod is not brand new, but it's one that I've wanted to check out for a very long time, and that is the Assault LMG by Brainstormepilog. This is going to be a brand new attempt at a lore-friendly LMG with tons of customization options, brand new custom animations, and special ones at that, as well as really nice integration into the world. Now, the idea was to sort of combine the aesthetic of the vanilla assault rifle and the real-life M249 into a new lore-friendly belt-fed LMG, and I have to say, the execution is wonderful. On its own, with a certain set of attachments, this thing looks pretty much like a Fallout-styled M249, but it also has options to throw on some crazy things like wood furniture and a water-cooled barrel, which is really, really funny. Additionally, Brainstormepilog did make all of their own custom animations for this weapon, so you have a brand new animation for the M249 itself, but there's something really special about this, and that may not mean a lot to some of you, but it is a very, very important thing. Not only are there custom animations for the player, and third person, and power armor, there's also custom animations for super mutants. That is something that I have pretty much never seen anybody do for a weapon mod, and that is an amazing addition into this mod. And it also opens up opportunities for modders to use LMGs on super mutants if they use this animation set, which is a really, really cool feature. For those that don't understand what that means making a brand new animation on a totally different rig for a species that isn't even playable. That is a lot of effort from Brainstormepilog for something that is just a really cool thing to have for more weapon variety on the mutants who don't really have a lot to begin with. So that's really cool and awesome stuff by Brainstorm. Now, additionally, this weapon does come with tons of attachments over at the weapons workbench, and you can get it in a variety of ways. The standalone version of the weapon will spawn pretty much anywhere that you might find an assault rifle. You can also find it as a replacer version if you downloaded the replacer file. This will fully replace the vanilla assault rifle, which I feel like a lot of you would really enjoy. And additionally, there is one unique that you can find over at Gunner's Plaza. So if you're looking for a new LMG or something like an M249, but you want something a little bit more lore friendly, this thing is really, really cool. I have to say, Brainstormepilog does really awesome stuff, and this weapon is amazing. So if you want to try it out, it'll be linked down in the description below. Now, moving away from guns for a little bit, let's talk about some new outfits that you can grab. Starting off with the Minutemen Ranger outfit by tumbajamba. This mod's going to add a brand new outfit to the Minutemen that looks very, very cool, offering a cowboy-esque hat, some body armor, as well as some nice clothes underneath. But it's also customizable, so beyond that, you can also throw on a brand new duster that can be worn with the outfit as well. This thing has a combination of different browns as well as blue for the armor to fit with the vanilla Minutemen aesthetic, and altogether just looks really cool. I especially like the integrated bullet loops that are mounted all over the place. This thing is super neat. Not something that I might wear on my character, but something I would think I would like to have on the Minutemen in my game. Now, if you're looking for a new Minutemen armor, this one is perfect, and also tumbajamba has been releasing a lot of Minutemen armor, so you could download them all, integrate them yourself, and then you would have some really, really cool Minutemen outfit replacers, or at the very least, additions, so that you have more options than just the standard vanilla one. Now, this is not one of the newer tumbajamba armors, which means that when it comes to integration, this thing is going to be added to your inventory automatically when you load up the game. So as soon as you load in, this thing will spawn in your inventory, and then it will be yours that way. You won't be able to craft it at the chemistry station or go out and find it in the world. There's no level list integration. Again, you can do all of that yourself, or alternatively, you can just spawn in some duplicates if you want to put it on your Minutemen in your game. It really just depends on how you want to go about it. This might actually be one that already has a patch on the Nexus, though, so that you can use it in leveled lists As of right now, I believe there is one that adds it to the leveled list, so Minutemen will spawn with this. And I believe there's also one that will replace the vanilla Minutemen outfit. So depending on what you like, you can check out the required files on this mod to see which ones of those you think you would like in your game. Regardless, though, you will need the base outfit itself, and I have to say this thing is pretty dang nice. So I do recommend trying this one out, especially if you're a fan of the Minutemen and want a new look for them that is still fitting with the lore-friendly aesthetic. But we're not done there. We still have one more thing to check out, and that is a brand new set of power armor known as the Gunner Power Armor by tumbajamba. Tumbajamba not only makes armors, I believe they even got their start making power armors, and they are back with a brand new one for the Gunners. This is going to offer a really neat looking aesthetic with some militarized looking power armor, offering a green and red aesthetic, which is an interesting paint job choice. It is not just solid green, it does have red. It also includes a bunch of attachments over at the power armor workbench that will have visual changes to the model. Most vanilla power armors don't even have that, but tumbajamba did add some new ones, like some added ammo pouches and targeting systems and different things that you can throw on the shoulders and different pieces to change the way the armor looks, which is pretty cool. There's even custom chest pieces and custom helmets, and even a jetpack with a custom paint job, which is really cool. This is a very highly detailed power armor with a lot of time and care that went into it to make sure that this thing looked unique and also had a lot of options for the player, including a set of night vision goggles, which is just really funny for power armor, but it does look really cool. The eyes even glow. Now, this is a bit of a newer release for tumbajamba, which means there is some really cool information here about how to get it. And that means that this thing is actually added to the level list, and you can find it on gunner commanders. So any gunners who are wearing power armor may have this power armor set on them. Additionally, it has been integrated onto the power armor frames. So whenever you find those frames that are scattered around the Commonwealth, there's a chance that some of this armor might actually be on them, which is pretty cool. And that'll start happening after level 21. On top of that regular integration, though, there's also a unique set of this armor on a gunner boss that you can find, known as the Lynx Power Armor, and you can find that over at the Mass Bay Medical Center. You need to find a new boss, defeat them, and then you get the armor all for yourself. So yeah, guys, I think that wraps up everything for this week's video. As always, if you'd like to try out any of these mods for yourself, they will all be linked down in the description below. If you enjoyed the video, consider dropping it a like. It really helps it out. And again, if you'd like to support my work directly, whether it's the videos here on YouTube or the mods over on Nexus, you can do so using the link down in the description to check me out on Patreon. Again, completely optional. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace!